Hi everyone, it's me, Miss Branch, the art teacher of lesson 6 for first grade. And what we're doing today is learning about value and symmetry. So we're going to make some value frogs that have symmetry, meaning the same thing on both sides. And we're going to do a light tint, which you learned in the song, the hue of green, and a shade of green, which is our dark green. So yes, you're going to need your wiggly eyes. You're going to need the paper for lesson 6, which is your blue paper, your brown paper, and your 3 different colored green papers. So let me go ahead and switch my camera so we can get started. All right, so these 2 papers we're going to use in a moment. So I'm going to move them out of the way while we start on our frog. So of course you're going to need your scissors, and you get your choice of either your glue stick or your liquid glue, and we're going to need our crayons. Now the first things first, we need to fold our papers in half because we don't need all of this for this project unless you want to make more frogs after this project is done. So, and you have extra paper in case you mess up, so you can start again. So I folded all 3 of them in half, and we're just going to cut this line. And we will start with, we'll put these off to the side in case we need them. And we'll start with our tint. Now, tint is when you add white to a color and it gets lighter. So we're going to first fold this in half, hamburger. And it's very important that we draw right here at the folded line, not on the open side. It's very important that we do it on this side. So let's see. You can use any of colors that you want to draw with, but I'm gonna draw with black to make sure you can see the line. And your crayons are probably starting to break like Miss Branch because she draws kind of hard, and I'm kind of hard on crayons. So what we're going to do for the frog's body. Oh, let me show. There, I have one. Oh, where'd it go? Okay, I have one that I already cut. We're gonna draw a semicircle, an oval, and then a diagonal line to make the frog's foot. So we're gonna make the body, half the body, and half the legs. So we're gonna do that, but the paper folded. So what we're gonna do now, well, actually, this was not a good one because I accidentally cut off the eye when I cut this one off, but I'll show you. So what we're gonna do is draw a semicircle and make sure it goes right here to the line. Don't make a little tiny one. You want a good sized frog. You don't want a little teeny tiny frog. You want a good sized frog. And then I'm going to draw an oval right here next to the bottom of this circle. And that's an oval. I'll bring the camera in, make sure you guys can see. And then right from this oval, I'm just going to make a diagonal line. That's going to be the frog's foot. And up here, I'm going to do an upside down U. That's going to be the frog's eye. So you have a semicircle, half a circle. Then you have an oval for the frog's leg and a diagonal line, which is going to become the frog's foot. Now we're going to cut out, let me lift my camera up just a little bit, because you know Miss Branch is left-handed, so I have to make sure you guys can see. We're going to keep the paper folded, and we're going to cut here and go around the eye, and then come follow the lines down. And if it's too much extra paper, just cut a line and cut your extra paper off the way, out of the way. And then I'm going to follow this line, and then I'm going to come cut here. And now down here, I'm only going to cut this little area out. And here we have, when we open it up, our frog's body. Now, if you want to use this side with the lines, then you can keep going with your black and finish tracing around the edge and draw the circle and the line, and then around the eye. That's totally up to you. I like to flip them over so I don't have those lines. And the only thing I want to draw is 2 U shapes for the frog's front legs, 2 lines for the frog's toes. I'm doing the same thing on both sides, U, line, 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 and then a line, half a line, and it comes all the way across the middle, so it's the same on both sides. Oh, I broke my crayon again. I am really hard on crayons. All right, so now, before I let this one go, I'm gonna go ahead and get some of my wiggly eyes out the bag. And it can be drying while I'm working on my next frog. Now, because of wiggly eyes, looks weird, like a weird monster right now. But because of wiggly eyes, I like to use my glue instead of the glue stick. So not a lot, just a dot. A dab of glue will do. And then I can take my eyes and rub a little bit, and it sticks. Rub a little bit, and it sticks. So I'm going to put this off to the side, and I'm going to do that again. This time I'm using the hue of green. Now, hue means color, but hue is like their last name. So like this is a family of colors. We have our light green, our dark green, and our green, because they all have the last name green. Green, green, light green, dark green. They all have the same hue of green. They're a hue of green. So it's like they're the family of green. And let's see, because I broke my black, I'm going to go ahead and use this dark blue. Maybe not. I'll use purple. Maybe that'll show up good. So we're going to do the steps again. So we're going to do right here at the fold. Make sure you're not on the open side. At the fold, and don't come all the way at the top. You're going to make a semicircle, half a circle. Then for the leg, we're going to make an oval. Let me see if I turn my paper around so make sure you guys can see it. An oval. And then a diagonal line from the oval. So I can make the legs. And then here at the top, over here on the side, I'm going to make an upside down U for the eye. So I'm going to do that again. I'm going to cut it out. And I'll cut out the bottom first this time. So I'll cut that piece. And now I'm going to cut this line and turn. I'm just doing different ways to see if it's easier. And you know what? I'm going to come from this way and come down to meet that line. Just because it might be a little easy, and put my scrap paper over there. And then I'll cut here. And there we go. And so now, again, if you want, you can trace on this side, but Miss Branch likes to flip it over so I don't have all those lines. And let's see, 1, 2, 1, 2. Same on both sides. Then a letter U and a letter U. Same on both sides. And this folded line here is called the line of symmetry. That's the middle where it's the same on both sides, because when I fold it, everything matches up. You can do a line of symmetry with your hands too. You can put your hands together and fold them together. Line of symmetry. See how the lines on my fingers even match up? That's cool looking in the camera. All right, so now I have my second frog, and of course I got to give it some more eyes. So 1, 2, and with my glue, not a lot, just a dot. A dab of glue will do. And rub a little bit, and it sticks. Rub a little bit, and it sticks. So now I have my light green, and I have my green, and now I have to make my dark green. Now in the song, it also talked about tone, and actually I didn't have any army green paper, because if you mix gray with green, you get like the army green, that the green that you see the soldiers wearing, military on their green jackets. That's what happens when you add gray to the green, and it'll get to that army tone. Like, let me see. All right, so I broke my black, so I'm going to go ahead and use this purple. And again, I'm going to draw a semicircle, oval, diagonal line, upside down U. So right now, semicircle. Oh, and make sure you're at the folded end, not the open end. So semicircle, half a circle, my U for the eye, and an oval for the leg, and a diagonal line for the foot. And again, I'm going to cut this out. Now you figure out which way is the easiest for you to cut out. And cut. Sometimes it's easier if you open all the way up and go to the back of the scissors and then turn the paper, then open the scissors all the way up and then turn the paper as you slowly close the scissors. And don't forget this little bit down here at the bottom, but not over here where the foot is. And when you open it up again, you have half of it drawn, but Miss Brand says, what? Flip it over. And then we're going to do the same thing on both sides. So 1, 2, 3 this time. So on this side, I have to do 1, 2, 3. And then I'm gonna do one long U and another long U for the arms and a big line for the smile. Oh, I forgot to put a smile on this one. There's a smile. I'm gonna give him a bigger smile. There we go. I have to do the same thing on both sides. All right, so now, of course, I got to get 2 more eyes. I already got one out, so I'll get another one out. And not a lot, just a dot. A dab of glue will do. Ooh, that dot's kind of big, but still rub a little bit. Did I knock that eye off? Oh, it must just came out the bag. There we go. Rub a little bit and it sticks. Rub a little bit and it sticks. So now I'm gonna lift my camera up a little higher. And I'm gonna put my frogs over here to dry because now we have to do the background. I'm gonna bring this back over. We're going to use the big blue paper to make some water. And we're going to show the texture of the water. So it's got a ripply, but this is implied texture because we can't touch it. And we're going to do some implied texture on our log. So we're going to make our log first, and then we're going to make our water. And then we get to glue everything down for our frogs on the log picture. Frog on the log, value frogs, tint. Well, we got to say hue and shade because I didn't have the tone. Yeah, if I had the tone color, we would have 4 frogs. So let me go ahead and get my brown paper. And we don't need this whole brown paper. So, of course, we got to cut it. But before we cut it, we got to fold it. And we're going to fold it in half, long ways, hot dogs. And this time you got to use 2 hands because it's such a big piece of paper. I'm really out my way. And I'm going to open it up and I'm going to cut this line. And we're going to have to fold it again and cut the line again because we still don't need a log this big. I'm going to put this piece off to the side. We could probably use that later in another project. Or you can make up something on your own because you are becoming a really good artist now. And I'm going to fold this one in half, hot dog again. Yeah, that's about right. And again, cut the line. And it's okay if you don't stay on the line because some sticks are straight, but most of them that you find on the ground, they're not very straight. So there, we have our log, but now we need to add some details, which will give it some implied texture. Now, I'm going to make the end of the log. So I'm going to make a circle here, just like a letter O, or more like an oval. But guess what? I'm going to bring my camera in so you guys can see that. And I'm going to put the rings of the log in there. And I'm going to do another one. And another one. Just keep going inside, inside. And this is actually called concentric circles because they're circles within a circle within a circle. And they all have the same middle. But they get bigger, 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 or smaller, smaller, smaller. And these 2 little corners right here, I'm just going to cut them off. I'm going to follow that curved line that I just drew. And then I'm going to follow that one. There we go. So now I have the end of my log. And I need to make the other end. So I'm gonna lift my camera up again. Now we can see this end. So we wouldn't be able to see both ends of the log if it was floating by. So what I'm gonna just do is do a little curve line right here. And then I'm just going to cut that curve line. So it kind of looks like a realistic log, even though we know it's made out of paper. And now I'm going to use my crayon, and I'm not going to do wavy lines like water. I'm just going to do like just jagged or bumpy lines so it can look like tree bark. But I'm not scribbling, or this is actually what we would call a controlled scribble. You know, you're not drawing like a baby, but you're not really drawing anything in particular. You're just letting your hand go up and down. But you're controlling where your hand goes. You're not scribbling like a baby. Because if you did it like a baby, it'd look like this. And we're not babies. We're big first graders. So we know how to control our scribbles. So now our log looks like it has some texture. And we're going to put this off to the side up here with our frogs. And now we have our big piece of paper, and we need our blue and our white crayon so we can give the illusion the texture of water by doing some scallop and some wavy lines. So if you want to do some scallop lines, let me make sure it can see this. We'll start over here. I'm going to do some little ones. Or you can just do wavy lines, scallop, wavy. Oh, it's like a pattern. Scallop, wavy. Scallop, wavy. Wavy, scallop, wavy. Okay, I'm stop playing. Wavy, wavy, wavy. Scallop, scallop, scallop. Wavy, wavy, wavy. Now, these are the ones that are far away. So now I'm in the middle of the paper, so I'm going to make them a little bigger. Wavy, wavy, wavy. Because I'm making them a little bigger because they're closer. And we learned in another project, we did that already. Did we do background, middle ground, foreground yet? Yeah, we did some in our texture picture, and that was lesson 4. Now I'm gonna make some big waves. Yes. And then I'm going to take my white crayon and just do a little bit beside them. Little ones. You don't have to do that many. It just gives it, because, you know, sometimes the water falls over and it makes little white crest bubbles in the water. Like when you're at the beach. Oh, it happens on lakes too. Or ponds. When the water's choppy. So now I have my background, and we're going to put our log floating in the water or on the water. And so what I'm going to do now is flip it over and with my glue. Now this is a very long piece of paper, so I'm going to put more than just 2 dots on this one. So let's see, I'm going to do 1, 2, still not a lot, just a dot. A dab of glue will do, but I'm going to put a lot. So not a lot, just not a lot, just a dot. A dab of glue will do. Not a lot, just a dot. A dab of glue will do. Ah, I did one for each word. And of course, now I can flip it over carefully and rub a little bit. And of course, it sticks. See, it sticks. So now I want to put my frogs in an order. So we can do dark, hue and tint, or we could do tint, hue, and dark. Because in the song it goes value, tints, tones, and shades. So tints, well, we don't have a tone, we have the hue. It also says say hue in the song. I forgot that line. So we got tint, hue, and shade. And you can put them all on the same line. Or if you want to give it a little variety, that's something that we talk about. That's another principle of design where you make things just a little different. It doesn't have to be all the same row every time. And it makes the picture a little more interesting. All right, so what I'm going to do, again, because these are kind of bigger and the paper's folded. I'm gonna put a few more dots. So again, not a lot, just a dot. A dab of glue will do. Not a lot. All right, so I did more than just that. So I actually put like 8 dots on there. And now I'm going to flip it and I'm going to rub a little bit. And it sticks. I'm gonna do that again. Not a lot, just a dot. A dab of glue will do. Okay, now I got like 9 on this one. But again, they're still tiny dots. And then I can rub a little bit. And it sticks. And now my last one. Not a lot, just a dot. A dab of glue will do. Cool. I gotta make that a whole song. I gotta get some music to it. All right, so now rub a little bit and it sticks. So now we have our frogs on a log that we show value, and we have symmetry, the same thing on both sides. I had my thumbs in different places, so it didn't look like the same thing on both sides. But because you got a hand and a hand, eye and eye, mouth, mouth, arm, arm, leg, leg, chubby belly. Ha! Same thing on both sides. So let me switch my camera. So everyone, that was lesson 6, which we learned about value and symmetry. So I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.